Well, boom! It's the Rocky Movies episode. This one had our very first repeat guest back in the old days of the podcast. What is this voice? And why? Anyway, Sean Perrotta, the very funny man, and as well as the extremely talented comedian Adrian Sexton joined me to make me watch a Rocky movie for the first time. The franchise that has a whole bunch of films, and I had seen none of them going into this. And I didn't realize how uplifting they were supposed to be. But no spoilies. Shh. Okay, enjoy it. And this was a bad idea.
Welcome to Don't Mind If I Don't. I'm your host, Aaron Gold. This is the show where I don't like things, and we have fans and experts come on and show me why I'm wrong. Just convince me the error of my ways, and I want to be shown why I am wrong. Because today we are doing Rocky movies. Movies that everybody loves. They're touted as these great things that I've just never given a fuck about. We've got two amazing guests today. First of all, improviser, actor, and she actually ran Yo Adrian, which is a Rocky symposium. The ironically named Adrian Sexton is here.
Hello.
Hey, Adrian.
Hi.
Oh my God, I should have said Yo Adrian.
What a missed opportunity.
I'm kicking myself forever.
It's all right. I've already heard it like 5 times today.
You have. You're going to hear it a lot. Yeah. Also, we have returning guest.
Hey.
Producer of variety show No Feelings Presents and lifelong Rocky superfan, Sean Perrotta.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Sean. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
Haven't seen you since the David Lynch episode.
No. And hopefully this one will go better in terms of you liking it more than you did when we started.
Well, it's Rocky, not David Lynch.
Oh. We'll get into it.
Maybe possibly just as polarizing.
So, why do you guys like Rocky movies?
Oh, my goodness.
What a loaded question.
Yeah, it's like saying, why do you like the sun? Like, why do you like...
Is it, though?
I am a fan of yours. This is good.
Yo, Adrian, why do you like Rocky movies?
You know, it's a really nice film in which the hero of the film is a genuinely good person. I think particularly these days, we love to, embellish the anti-hero, like Breaking Bad or The Sopranos or whatever. Rocky, he's not beating up Adrian. He's not doing drugs. He's not corrupt. He's still good-hearted and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Balboa, even in Creed, like he's a good dude. And I would follow that guy. I would, he's a good man.
That's a fair point, if not at times an annoying one. And nothing like Stallone. Well, I don't know if he's nothing like Stallone, but not quite like Stallone.
I would love it if Stallone were like Rocky, but I don't think so.
Can you imagine Rocky saying "cradle the balls"?
No.
Work the shaft, cradle the balls.
No.
What?
You haven't heard about this?
No. What is this?
Oh, Stallone. Oh, Sean is shaking his
What
head.
is this?
He knows this story. I don't know what movie it was on, but you know how on sets actors will have little tiny mics and will oftentimes forget that they are mic'd.
Yeah.
So he was in his trailer mic'd with a woman who was going down on him, and so there was a recording of Stallone saying, work the shaft, cradle the balls.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Well, Stallone did start in porn. He did porn
that is true.
early on.
That's the Italian stallion.
Exactly.
That's
where, which is so funny.
And then they just kept that name into Rocky?
Well, he wrote it.
It kind of, yeah.
He wrote the porn?
No,
he
wrote Rocky.
No. I knew he wrote Rocky.
So it's so funny to take your porn name and then make it the name of your character and what would go on.
It's like, that worked for that. I'm going to keep that.
And it would define him. So that's hilarious.
Sean, why do you like Rocky?
Cradle the ball.
I feel like I just broke your world
really
a little bit.
Like, I don't even... Maybe Rambo said that. No, even Rambo's too...
he's too
good-hearted
not Rambo. Stallone later, like in those action movies.
There's nothing wrong with liking your balls cradle.
No.
But
Just to hear him say
just to
it
hear him say that.
is To me, Rocky, certainly for all the reasons Adrian mentioned, I do love that he's a simple, good guy. And certainly later on, it gets more complicated in terms of money and fame and all that. But to me, I love the franchise because just the way it grows, like really organically, like he always builds and this character always feels true to what that character was in the first one. Like even when he gets too big for his britches later on, even when he's insanely rich and he kind of loses himself a little bit, he's still that
It's still
simple
true
guy.
to who he was in the first one.
He's always Rocky.
Yeah.
And as far as Creed, which is crazy how long ago Rocky came out, Creed is incredible. And he's still that same character. That voice is the same. Those movies, certainly the movies themselves changed a lot. But he's still that. And I think that's so impressive to carry that over so many years.
And the Academy should have rewarded him for that.
Whoa.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
Well, but the Academy.
Did you see Creed?
No.
Oh, well,
I thought you meant just for playing Rocky in general.
Oh,
but
come
okay,
on,
for
that's what
Creed
the
itself.
Academy does. They're like, oh, you're still alive? Here's an Academy Award.
It is crazy that he didn't get it. Like, he really feels like the type. But the guy who did get it, he was in that, the Bridge of Spies movie. They like the real life, the drama, the
Fine.
old, nonsense. Bullshit.
Well, maybe we'll see about seeing Creed because in preparation for this, I had never seen a Rocky movie. I just never cared to.
Sure.
And
That is crazy to me because they are like so ubiquitous.
They are, and I think that's
it's
part of it. Like
marathons
it's so
on TNT.
Yeah.
it's so popular.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew iconic moments.
But I was like you up until a year ago. Like,
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
You're a recent fan.
I am.
Wow.
Like my entire life, everyone, everywhere I went, people would just say, "Yo, Adrian."
Right.
I bet you've never heard that before. I'd
Now,
be like,
was it sort of like out of spite that you didn't see
Oh,
them?
absolutely.
Okay,
I
yeah,
was like,
sure.
I was like, "Fuck that guy."
Right.
He ruined my
I'm
name.
not going to see this fucking movie. Yeah.
But
great.
then last year, I think it was during one of these marathons. I was working the door at a bar for friends who were in a band inside, and Rocky 3 was ending, and I'm like, oh, this whole thing, okay. And I got like,
You got into it.
I got
Yeah.
into it, and then Rocky 4 started, and I was like, oh shit, this is the one, right? This is the one people talk about. And then the bartender
Yeah.
changed the channel, and I got so mad. And then the next day, I like watched everything on Netflix, and I've been
Amazing.
hooked ever since.
Oh, incredible. What a great
Well-
story. Aaron, I'm desperate to hear your thoughts.
Before I'd seen, because you guys had me watch Rocky and Rocky 4.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the synopses of 2 and 3 in
Great.
between. Before any of this, I was at a 2. I thought it was like, just Stallone, whatever,
Sure.
who cares? And then I watched Rocky and Rocky 4.
Mm-hmm.
And now after watching Rocky 4, it's at a 7.
Wow. You hated Rocky 4?
What?
It's not that I hated Rocky 4. Part of it is how overhyped it is.
Sure.
Rocky 4 is the most not on purpose 80s movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
It is 1/3 montage.
Yeah, it is.
1/3.
A robot sidekick is introduced
God, the robot!
5 minutes in.
I love that robot.
James Brown does a musical number
Yes.
for no reason.
None at all.
It's so goddamn.
Oh, there's a reason.
Amazing.
We'll get into it.
The
There's a
Soviet
reason.
Union, hello, I mean, Aaron, this is the movie that ended the Cold War.
How? Okay, no, you guys told me that it did. Back that shit up. What did it do? How did it end the Cold War?
It set the precedent for Reagan and Gorbachev to meet and come together. Because if Rocky can change,
You can change
you can
too.
change too.
That's the line. That line unlocks the whole thing.
Yeah.
If I can change, so can you.
And he wins over the Soviets.
They're cheering for him.
him.
They're cheering for Rocky.
him.
Yeah, no, I fucking saw it, but like, did that really help in real life, or do people just say that? Did it really help end the Cold War, or is it
I
just a
don't know.
fun
Well,
thing?
Sure.
Well,
Okay,
let's just-
there we go.
In the movie, it certainly seems like he
Certainly
ended
did.
the Cold War. In the Rocky universe, the Cold War is over. I
Because then
firmly
it
believe
also
that.
it also spoke to the Soviets that their man machine that they had created
Yes.
could be defeated
Yes.
by
Yeah, but
hard
you're not talking
work.
about real Soviets. You're talking about Rocky movie Soviets.
Sure.
Those aren't real. There wasn't a single real Russian in there.
How do you know?
Dolph Lundgren. Where was that movie filmed?
Oh, I have
Where
no
was
idea.
quote unquote Russia there?
I don't know.
Probably like Alaska or something.
Probably.
Or like
Probably.
Yugoslavia. Or something.
Yeah. Wherever's cheaper to film than
Right.
Russia.
But let's get to Rocky 4 in a little bit. Like I had known very little about the Rocky movies. I knew like a couple iconic moments in the first Rocky. I was surprised at who Adrian ended up being. Like,
Talia Shire.
yeah, what else has she been in?
She was in The Godfather.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
What?
What?
Okay, there's
Haven't
like
seen it either.
3 actresses that get used in 70s movies. it's Faye Dunaway, Diane Keaton, and Talia Shire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Like, and she just happened to be in like the ones that all won Best Picture.
Right. Yeah.
What
Which
was
is
Faye
crazy.
Dunaway in?
She was in Bonnie and Clyde, Network, then Mommy Dearest.
Well, actually, I saw some of Network. I never finished it.
You've got to watch more movies,
I
man.
know. That's the
What?
whole point of this podcast.
That's what you're doing it for.
To get me to like realize the error of my ways.
Well, you're welcome.
But actually, fun fact about the casting of Talia Shire, Susan Sarandon actually read for the part.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
love
they,
that.
they thought that she was too pretty to play Adrian.
That's what I thought. That was what you were going to
That's-
say.
Yeah.
Her being like
Because
sort of
Talia Shire
plain and
has
sort
Yeah.
of
yeah, the secret beauty.
yeah.
God, I will tell you, Rocky seducing Adrian in his
That's
apartment.
that scene doesn't play well today.
No.
No,
it really doesn't.
That
No.
was.
It hasn't
looked
aged
like
well.
an after.
No.
It looked like an after-school
Yeah,
special
that-
about consent.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, wait a minute. This is a fight, like a street, like a guy from like the neighborhood
Yeah.
who fights. And here she is, this like nerdy little loser, quote unquote.
Right.
And he's coming on to her and like, where's she gonna go? How
Yeah.
she can't run out?
It's
Like,
uncomfortable.
Right,
It's
like,
that
I'm-
part of it does not age
I'm
well.
sure 40
Absolutely.
years ago, it's like, oh, isn't that sweet? They're
Right,
falling
sure.
in love. Now
Yeah.
it's like, get out of this.
Yeah,
It's
get
like,
out, lady.
"Ah." But goddamn, those muscles when he like leans in.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, okay, I get this Italian stallion thing.
Yeah, I'm very straight, but that made me think for a
But
second.
he has,
I'm like,
he shows
okay.
her his turtles.
He does, and that's the thing. Like
He's seen them. He bought them from her.
But he is sweet.
But
Like
he's-
that's
yeah.
the thing.
He's
That
sweet.
is, it's problematic. I will not disagree with you.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, like he is a good, sweet
Yeah.
man.
I'll say that. I'll say that Rocky, the character of Rocky, I was surprised to find that a lot of his qualities reminded me of a lot of qualities in people I really like. But a lot of his qualities reminded me of a lot of qualities in people that annoy the shit out of me.
All right. So what? Like
Like what?
what don't you like about?
I don't
you
like
Rocky?
that he doesn't get boundaries.
Oh sure.
Like he just in the first movie. By number 4, there was nothing to not like about him. He
Yeah.
had
Right.
grown so much, but like in the first movie, he kind of seemed like he was on the spectrum somewhere.
Sure.
Like
Well, he's been hit in the head a couple of times.
So he's been hit in the head less times by 4.
Well,
I think like back, and it's like that old school like Italian
Yeah.
sentiment. You know, it's like they're a very close people.
Yeah.
It's just the way he's like it with everybody. Paulie, Adrian, like everyone. He and Apollo are friends later. Like they're very, a big joke is that like the real love story is between
Oh,
Rocky
yeah.
and Apollo in
the
later.
best,
Yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
favorite
Yes.
montage is in Rocky 3 with
Yes.
Rocky and Apollo. And
Yes.
they're like running down the beach.
They run
and
down
they're
the
all
beach in
sweaty.
slow
They
motion.
showed that
Yeah.
in 4.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
did.
did.
They
Yes,
showed
they
that,
did.
That
and
was-
I remember going like, "Oh, this is getting Top Gun in here."
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I really want to write / fan fiction about Apollo and Rocky.
I would
but
be
I
surprised
don't
if
have
it
the
doesn't.
I was gonna
time.
say not to discourage you. I'm sure so much
I'm
of it
sure.
is out there. But that's just Rocky. Like that's just what he is. He's a very
that's
like close
one
person.
of the very first things Apollo says to him, "I want you."
Then, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, listen,
What is
you
that? Jiggle the balls or stroke?
Cradle the balls,
Cradle the balls.
work the
Stroke the-
shaft.
That's going to be
the
the title
shaft,
of
yeah.
my / fiction.
Oh, that's really good. Now that I'll bet is not out there. That's where you get your market.
Yes.
Yo, Adrian. Yeah, I mean, like, did you guys not find him annoying at all in the first movie?
To me, he's sweet. Like he is sweet and simple, and I'm very drawn in by an underdog. Like an
Yeah.
underdog story gets me, and that's why Rocky to me is so perfect. Like such a perfect movie is that it does nothing new. Like those movies
No.
existed. It's a classic underdog story. He gets the girl. The fight, he doesn't win the fight, which
But-
I think is
but he won
huge,
but he went the
wins fight.
distance.
Exactly,
That's
and
what
that
he
I think is so
wanted.
cool.
I thought that was interesting. Like, because I remember when the first one ends in a tie, I was like thrown off by that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that is intriguing. And like,
Well, Apollo wins. Apollo
But
wins
it's also
the fight.
it's a good
but,
allegory
I thought
for
it was-
life itself. It's like
he wins by like the split
By decision.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't win by knockout, which is, and because Rocky went the distance with him, which nobody thought he could do. Rocky's the winner.
And it's also a good, metaphor for life because, the power, like Apollo was always going to win because he was the prize guy. He
Everybody
was the
told
star.
Rocky that the whole movie.
Right. And he knew that he was always going to lose. He just wanted this one thing. And it was a tie, which then leads to Rocky 2 for the rematch and all that kind of stuff. And it's all like Apollo's own pride to be like, I'm going to beat you fair and square this time. But it's like as much as you, which is Rocky's kind of sad because as hard as you work for it, you're still going to lose.
Sure. Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like the guy who's supposed to win is gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Rocky 1 tells you. You go the distance and you earn a personal
Mm-hmm.
victory, but like you're supposed to lose to the champ, and you do.
Yeah.
So I want to hear, what do you think of Rocky the movie on the whole? We know your issues with Rocky the character. That movie, take 4 out of the equation for now.
Forget the
that
rise.
first movie. I don't understand why it's as iconic as it is. Like, I don't understand what the hype about it was. Like, I mean, what made this movie so special? Maybe that'll help me understand. Like, was it like the first sports movie like this, or what did it do?
I think it was one of the
What was
first,
the
like
thing?
directorially, it was one of the first films to use handheld cameras.
Yes.
And so all these kind of montages of him running through the streets of Philadelphia and up the stairs, like that iconic shot really was just kind of new to cinema. So it's a different thing. And I guess filming the way the fights were filmed is definite, like, whereas... Yeah,
You brought up you reminded me of something, but keep going.
No, just I from what I understand in boxing films in particular before Rocky, it was always, wide shot, close up, like very choreographed, whereas like this is a real fight.
The camera's like way more involved in a way that makes that fight feel
Like-
much more dynamic.
Like when Rocky's eye has to get cut,
Yeah.
like I myself, I'm like, did that really happen? Is this really happening?
That was to drain the blood so he could see, or
Yes.
Yes.
because it was too puffy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Gotcha.
what cut me. That's what it'll swell up, and they have to cut it to reduce the swelling just on the spot so he
Yeah.
can keep fighting.
Okay. Why? I thought that he'd be over it by 4, but he wasn't. Why is his strategy let them punch
Sure,
me in
yes.
the face 30 times? Seems like I'm not a boxing guy, not gonna lie. Seems like a bad plan.
To me personally, I think that while I agree is a terrible plan, sort of unlocks that whole character. Like that's exactly who he is. Like life beats the shit out of that guy.
Just punch me in the face.
In the first movie, like
It's not bad.
in the first movie, like he's working for a mob boss, and
But he
like,
doesn't
he's
even wanna
doing-
do it 'cause
Exactly,
he's a
like
good guy.
He
Yeah.
has to do this
Yeah.
job for this mob boss.
I kept on expecting
He's
the
so
mob boss
sad.
to go like take a dive, but like
I love that he
the
does
mob
it.
boss is
Yeah,
just like,
but-
here's $500. Good
Yeah.
luck, buddy.
And again, like because Rocky's so good, like the people love him. They love him so much, and that which it looks so corny now. Him running through the streets with the kids chasing him,
But
and he
it's-
runs up the
it's
steps.
great.
But it is like it's this guy is like Philly's a pretty like
Yeah.
it's an underrepresented city.
Yeah.
Like nobody really gives a shit about Philly. So for him to be like this figure, it's someone that Philly can look up to.
And trust me, they're Philly with Rocky.
Oh,
like,
they
the two
they love
go
him.
hand in hand.
They love him so
Last
much
year,
in
actually-
real life Philly.
Oh yeah, they have a Rocky run. They have like a Rocky 5K,
they really?
10K. Yeah, I did it last year because I was obsessed with Rocky. I'm like, I'm going to run a 5K. I never run a 5K before, but god damn it, I'm going to do it. And it's like at the museum, and you run. Everybody's dressed up in
That's
like gray
amazing.
sweatsuits.
When did real life Philly put up that Rocky statue?
I think after in Rocky 3, which you didn't see,
Yeah.
they erect the statue. Then Mr. T shows up and
Yeah.
insults Adrian. But that was so in like the Rocky lore, the statue is in front of the museum, but now it's off to the side. I
It
would
is-
imagine
When
It is
did they
there, though.
probably
actually-
like a couple of years after.
Yeah, I don't
After
know.
Rocky III?
I don't know exactly
Yeah,
when.
probably sometime in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
So to me, but just like the way he fights is like the way he lives. Like life beats him up.
Then he comes
He
back.
takes that one shot. The fights are all
Yeah.
about him waiting for his chance.
Yeah.
That's it. He just sits and
That's
he
a pretty
waits
good metaphor.
Yeah.
and he takes life's punches and he takes
just-
that Apollo gives him a shot and he takes it, even though everybody tells him not to.
Right.
And that's how he lives his life, and that's how he fights. He takes the beating, he takes it. And, in the fight, the idea is that it tires his opponent out. I think that's nonsense, and it's ridiculous. A ridiculous way to conduct yourself in a boxing ring.
Yeah, no.
12 rounds later.
Yeah, exactly. It's insanity.
Yeah.
In real life, that would never win you a fight. That's nonsense. But in the movie, I think it's like a good metaphor, and it makes for like a good fight.
Yeah.
It's good to like see your underdog hero get the shit beat out of him and then win.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. And I will say, like, the fight choreography in these is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's...
They do a good job with those boxing
I wonder
scenes.
how many times someone actually gets punched in the face.
All
'cause I
the
imagine
time.
it's
No,
Yeah.
like there's all
constant.
these, stories of. I think in 4, Dolph Lundgren punched Stallone in the chest, and it didn't give him a heart attack, but his heart moved.
Yeah.
In his body.
Well, in 4, they decided, without consulting anyone on the crew or the director or anybody, just Stallone and Dolph Lundgren decided they were really going to punch each other. They said, we're going to make this real. This is America
Right, yeah.
versus Russia. This is, like, important. And, like,
because we're going to end the Cold War.
Yeah, so you're going to punch me and I'm going to punch you.
Yeah.
And they're like, those are real blows that they're landing on each other, which is also insane and a bad idea.
Yeah. Also, number 4 is also pretty impossible. Whoa, was that not a fair fight?
No.
No, there's... Lundgren has, 3 feet on Stallone?
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge.
He's
and he's
8 feet tall.
Yeah, he definitely weighs a lot. They're in different weight classes.
Right.
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but that's what makes all these films so amazing is that the opponent keeps getting bigger
Yes.
and bigger
True,
and
true.
bigger.
Yeah, Carl Weathers is like a pretty reasonable size. Like
Yeah.
Apollo
Right.
Creed and Rocky are like
I'm pretty the
matched.
same. Mr. T is huge. Dolph Lundgren is a giant.
Yeah, it
And
really.
I think that's
it
why
gets
5
silly.
people were just like, oh, Tommy Gunn. Who cares about him?
What happened in 5?
Yeah.
Five is when Rocky finally decides to stop fighting and he trains a fighter. He
Right.
trains a fighter named Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
But Tommy Gunn gets too big for his britches.
And then it's like a weird father-son thing
Yeah.
with his own son.
He
and
has
then
a
his
son, but like Tommy Gunn is also
like
his
a
son.
and yeah.
But he
He
I-
betrays him.
So he and Tommy Gunn fight?
they
in the
they have a
streets.
street fight.
Yeah.
Oh, how does that go?
Well, there's a Rocky Balboa. So what do you think?
Rocky wins.
Gotcha.
That movie's a nightmare. 5 is the only one that's
They always,
bad.
yeah, that's what they say. I feel like
Are you a defender of Rocky 5? Because that is fascinating. I've never met one.
the only thing I really don't like about 5 is you never find out what happens to the robot.
Yes, I agree.
It's
So
just like-
the robot's not there anymore?
No, they dropped the robot
And
after
they-
4.
and
No,
they
you don't
never-
get to do that.
Right. Like, this is Polly's girlfriend, essentially, by the
Yeah.
end of
Yeah.
4.
Yes.
And, like, that's it. There's no
I'm
mention
sorry.
of the robot.
You don't get to build a dynasty like that. Then bring in a fucking robot
I love
5
it so
minutes into the
much.
4th
Happy
movie.
birthday,
Love
Polly.
Jesus.
But you know,
it's the 80s.
The story behind the robot, though, is actually really great. And
Tell me
this
it
I don't
plays
know.
into
Yeah.
the whole Stallone, Rocky, like sweet guy thing. These robots were made to help autistic children.
Is that true?
Yeah, because
Whoa.
one of Stallone's sons was autistic, and so
Was?
somehow, or is
Okay.
still, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or he was a small child, and so like the people who made the robot, like they gave it to him, or he bought it, and he's like, "This is great. I'm gonna put this in my movie."
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
That endears
so
it to me
much.
somewhat.
Right? Just put a party hat on him and change the voice to be like, "Hi, Polly." Like,
I think with 4, you really have to embrace that this is a campy 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like for
You are not given the choice.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Get on board or get out of the way.
And I'm sure it was-
Rocky 4 is coming here,
Right.
full montage.
I'm sure it was jarring to have you watch 1 and then 4. Just to watch
was.
those two.
but how was it for you to watch 1 and then 4 and see like Polly is still this drunk,
He's still Paulie.
racist
Still, Paulie.
asshole, like with his little asshole hat and his
Just a piece of
jacket and
shit.
like the tundra being pulled on a sled.
Because Paulie is not as present in 4 as he was
Right.
in 1.
No.
And you see Paulie at the beginning of 4, and he's kind of being a dick, but then immediately gets whipped cream all over him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he just pretty much shuts up for the majority of the movie until, like, aside from complaining about Russia, how cold it is, and at the end having an honest moment with Rocky.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was as bad at 4, but I've also not seen 2 and 3.
Yeah, there just isn't really room for
Right.
Yeah.
It's
for
kind of always
Pauly
just
in
like,
4.
here's the Pauly scene. You know,
That's the thing. Like 1 and even 2 and 3 do this well. The ensemble is there. Like the supporting cast is there around him. They are doing good work.
Do we get to know Apollo Creed's trainer in 2 and 3? Because I remember seeing 4 and like he's training Creed. Creed dies, and then just all of a sudden, I'm here too.
Well, because Mickey dies.
Yeah.
So Mickey's dead. So that's why Rocky needs a trainer. So that's not really a character we get to know, though. No.
Okay, so it just happened like that.
His name is Duke, and
yeah.
maybe you didn't know that.
I didn't.
I didn't think so. There's no reason you should know that.
Because it just kind of shows up in no pain.
Am I wrong, or is Duke kind of a better trainer than Mickey was?
Duke seems like a great trainer.
Yeah, no pain,
Hardcore.
no
Yeah.
pain.
No pain.
Say it, no pain.
No pain.
No pain.
Mickey-
Instead of it being like, you're a bum, Rocco.
Yeah.
They're different. They come from different
Adrian,
schools.
you're killing it on the voices.
You are really. I'm not even trying because I don't want to be shown up. This is great. You are doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. This is incredible.
What happens to Adrian in the later movies?
She gets the women's disease and dies. That's how Rocky puts it, I think in Creed.
Yeah,
He's like,
it
gee,
is.
she got the women cancer and died. Because
So she's just-
in Rocky Balboa, you just see his morning montage routine, and then he goes to the cemetery and he sits by her grave and he reads in the paper.
Yeah. So she's just dead
dead.
off camera.
I think
when
I have
six
I have a
opens.
feeling Talia Shire probably didn't.
Just didn't
Oh,
want to do
she
it
could
anymore.
not
I
have
am
been.
probably not.
Which is a bummer because Rocky Balboa is a return to form.
Yeah, it really
really good.
is.
Rocky
Yeah.
Balboa is very good, and after the low of 5, I did not think
I
it could
haven't
be.
cried through a film like Rocky Balboa
Yeah.
since like Milo and Otis.
So Rocky Balboa is him getting back into the ring, just like, gotta do one more.
Yeah.
It's a
that's-
charity fight, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Against who?
he does a charity against the current champ,
Yeah.
Mason the Line
Mate, that's
Dixon.
right. Oh, yeah.
He's a black man, a black boxer
Again.
named Mason the Line Dixon.
Jesus.
These movies are like there's racism is I don't even think an undercurrent, perhaps
No,
an overcurrent
It's
in these
okay.
movies.
What is
not
it? Just
racist.
like
Rocky is
one-
not racist.
No.
Rocky isn't a racist.
No.
But what is it? He fights a white guy twice.
He fights
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan in the
Oh,
beginning
my
of
God, Thunderlips.
he fights Thunderlips Hulk Hogan in the beginning of 3. And he fights Tommy Gunn in 5.
And Dolph Lundgren.
And Dolph
Dolph
Lundgren, right.
Lundgren.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So the Hulk Hogan fight isn't like the main fight of the movie. It's just like a throwaway in the beginning of 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's 2 main white guys that he fights. And the rest of the time, it's just him beating up black men in a ring.
And does he win at the end of Rocky Balboa?
It also comes down to split decision, like in the
Right. I think
first
it's
one,
very
and
much like the
the
first
champ
one,
wins.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it is like him being able to go all the
Sick.
way. And this champ is like very outspoken and hot-headed.
I did it.
Yeah. And at
And
the
in-
end, he's sort of like to Rocky, like he's been shit talking Rocky the whole movie, and he's like, "You're a great fighter." Like
And,
the idea is that like he'll be more humble now.
Right.
Like,
and
Rocky
instead,
isn't
because
still
since
there.
Adrian's not there, the female protagonist is Little Marie.
Yeah.
Who?
Remember in Rocky 1, the little girl, he walks
Oh,
home,
yeah.
he's like, "Yo, don't be a whore." She's like, "Screw you, Rocco." Well, now she's grown up.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I should have said that to you." "Yeah, I'm so sorry, Rocky." Like, "It's okay." And he opens up a restaurant. I want that restaurant to be a sitcom.
I love that
Hold
restaurant.
on.
Okay.
So, first of all,
So
is
much.
Little Marie the
We're
same
throwing a
actress?
lot at you.
Yeah,
I
know.
apologize.
Is Little Marie the same actress?
Probably not.
I don't
Like,
think so.
probably not.
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
But wouldn't it be great if it were?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think
God
so.
damn.
Milo Ventimiglia is his son.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
saw
Rocky
that,
Balboa,
yeah.
Yeah. But he opens up a restaurant called Adrian's.
Oh, it's so
And it's
great.
like covered in all like his memorabilia and all his fighting stuff.
And he just hangs out and like talks to
Right.
his
And then,
clientele.
like Pauly shows up drunk and throws ham around.
Yep.
And like Spider Rico's like washing dishes.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy you fought in the first movie.
So it's I was like, I would watch this show if it was on it, like Cheers, but
Yes.
like Adrian's. Like,
yeah.
wouldn't that be great?
And that's what I mean. Like these movies just do such a good job of continuing.
Yeah.
Him opening a restaurant and being like a simple guy, but then like being lured back one more time is a perfect evolution for that character.
Right.
Now, I will say I'm a sucker for a good through line.
Yeah,
so
sure.
that does endear itself to me somewhat.
Yeah, he's just throughout all of these movies, he is always Rocky Balboa.
Right.
Like he never loses that. He is always that. The characters are always who they are. The movies are sort of always the exact same thing, but sometimes heightened, maybe.
And Creed is about him training Apollo Creed's
Well, it's really about Creed, about Apollo Creed's son.
Yeah.
And
Stallone does a great job of like taking a back seat to
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan in that movie.
Michael B. Jordan's amazing.
He's
Yes,
incredible.
he
You'd love Creed, I think.
Yeah.
It is definitely like not Rocky centric. There is like a Rocky B plot. Like he gets his time in the spotlight. But this is like very clearly a movie about Creed. And like props to Sylvester Stallone for being able to do like
okay, I will reprise this character in your movie.
yeah, to be like the supporting character to play the character he created.
I want to make my own movie and just have him come in as Rocky.
I think
Is
Rocky,
his son in it? Like Milo? Is he in?
No, they're
No.
not they're not even on like really good terms.
Yeah.
So I hope with Creed 2, like it become.
Is there going to be a Creed 2?
I don't know.
Stallone has said he wants to write it, which like I don't come on.
I'll be okay. Oh,
I
if by
wonder.
Creed 4, I hope Creed 4 is fighting ISIS.
Yeah,
So, like-
yeah, absolutely. He finally ends the war on terror.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how this has
If
to
I can
go.
change, you can change.
Creed. Yeah.
Jesus. Let's talk Rocky 4.
Oh,
All right.
Yes.
That fucking acid trip of a shit show. That movie is like 1/3 montage.
I know.
And to large chunks of that are to previous movies.
Yes.
Just clips from previous movies.
It takes.
That's lazy filmmaking.
Just
Yeah,
in case
yes.
you hadn't seen it, now you're all caught
See,
up.
wasn't it good for you?
Yeah,
you hadn't seen 2 and 3. It lays them out for you
Yeah.
as those American flag and Russian flag boxing gloves move in towards
And then
each other.
explode on each
and then
other.
explode. Just to tell you exactly what this movie's
like-
going to be.
Rocky and Adrian had a child, and Mickey died. There's lots of frolicking on the beach.
So much frolicking on
So
the
much
beach.
frolicking and
Lot of-
sweaty,
yeah.
like shadow boxing. Ooh, I love it.
Oh. 4 is an exercise in excess. 4 is like really
Is it now?
an exercise in excess and also like very little actual filmmaking. Like so many montages, so many flashbacks.
Yeah, the
Music
fucking
numbers.
scene that really.
Hearts on fire.
Yeah, do they just make a new
Desire.
Eye of the Tiger for each one?
I think it's still
Because Hearts on Fire. No. Hearts on Fire is Eye of the Tiger.
No, I was going to
again.
say in 2, it's still Eye of the
Eye of the
Tiger,
Tiger,
I think.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought Eye of the Tiger started in 3, didn't it?
No, Eye of the Tiger was
you
in
lost
one.
the hunger, Rock. You need the Eye of the Tiger.
Well, they say it.
Yeah.
Jesus, they say it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
Just in
that's
case you didn't hear it the first time.
Apollo sort of trains him to fight Mr. T in 3.
Yeah.
And that's what he says. He's like, because in 3, Rocky's sort of fat on his success.
Right.
And like, but
he's
Mick's
depressed.
Mick's keeping Mr. T from him because he
'Cause he
knows
knows he'll
he
kill
can't
him.
beat him. He's like, this guy will kill you, Rocky. Like,
Can't
you
do it,
fight him.
Rock.
So he fights him and he loses in the beginning. Rocky loses to Mr. T.
Which kills Mickey.
But Mickey has a heart attack.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how Mickey dies. And then so Creed kind of takes over and he's like, look, like you've lost it. You've lost your heart. You need the Eye of the Tiger. And then they run half naked on the beach. It's very homoerotic.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They love each other.
They
Love
do.
very much. Very much.
And that's what like gets him to fight in 4.
Yeah.
Like that's why, as I'm sure you could tell. Like
Yeah,
that's,
when he
Yeah.
runs up the mountain and
Yeah.
starts screaming, Drago!
which is come on, you can't. It's so much fun. Did you not have fun
Come on.
watching Rocky? Like that's my question. Rocky 4 is a far inferior
Right.
movie to Rocky. Did
He's-
you have
he's
fun?
chopping wood and like pushing up a wagon.
That metaphor is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Also, like the
It's
idea of like
he is from nature.
Exactly.
He is human.
And,
And
like,
meanwhile,
it's-
Drago's just being like pumped full of steroids.
it's
and
like
being
American
Yeah.
grit in against like Russian
Soviet
science. Yeah,
science,
like
yeah.
Soviet. Exactly.
Did I have fun with it?
That's my question.
I did.
Okay, there you go.
A lot of that was hate fun.
Sure.
A lot of that was hate fun.
Yeah.
Going like, again, I know I've said it. I've said it so many times, but I cannot fucking. robot sidekick 5 minutes in.
Sure.
And I
Oh,
timed
yeah.
it. It's almost to the minute.
It's
5
amazing.
minutes in.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the kind of thing. Yeah, it's like buckle up, buckaroos. Here we go.
Listen, if you don't watch Rocky 4 and shout at your TV screen, why didn't you just make a movie instead of making this? Then, like, yeah, you watched it wrong. That's how you're supposed to. And I love it. I don't love it ironically. I don't hate
It's not a
love
guilty
it.
pleasure?
It's absolutely not. I think it's wonderful because I think it's exactly what it is. I think it just is this 80s festival of excessiveness.
Of everything.
Festival of excessiveness.
I think that's exactly what it
That's
is.
a
Were
really
you,
good
were
way
you
of putting
sad
it.
when Apollo died?
I kind of. Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Rocky killed him.
Rocky didn't kill
No,
him.
no,
Rocky
no.
killed
we-
him.
no.
Rocky, he said, "Don't throw in the towel, no matter what." Meanwhile, Apollo's wife and Apollo's trainer
No.
and everyone are going like, "Rocky, throw in the fucking towel."
Rocky's
and Rocky's
the
like,
only-
No.
Rocky is the reason Apollo would die."
No, the crowd of people all stood around and went, "Someone do something!" They killed him. They go get a doctor instead of just being like, "Oh my god!" While he held his friend. as
Somebody
he lay
went to get a
dying.
doctor in
Oh,
there.
we don't know. There was no scene with that.
To your point, though, Rocky gets it. Rocky doesn't quit a fight.
They're fighters.
Exactly.
Aaron.
It's the respect.
Yeah.
If it's up to Apollo Creed to decide when Apollo Creed doesn't want to fight
Right.
anymore.
And that's a fair point, except for one thing. And we didn't see it in Rocky 4, but I knew it because Creed exists. The movie Creed exists. One thing does trump that, being a fucking father.
Sure.
So you're not just fighting for you, you've got a kid to not
But he
leave
didn't
fatherless.
know about him.
He didn't. Yeah. in
No.
Creed-
Yeah, that's the whole,
part. He
Oh,
his
doesn't.
whole backstory.
what is the story?
That whole backstory. Apollo had an affair
Yeah.
on his wife, and she was pregnant when he fought and died. So
Did he know she was pregnant?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
think
she was
so.
gonna tell him after the fight.
Yeah, I don't think
don't
he
know.
knew. I think
No.
like that's a plot. Like that's part of
Okay.
like what kind
Yeah.
of drives Creed. That like his father, one of the greatest boxers of all time, like never even knew he existed.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like I do. The guy's got a family. Like the guy's got people
Well, yeah,
who
he's got
care
a bunch
about
of
him.
kids and dogs and.
But
yeah.
Apollo Creed like is the same as Rocky. Like Rocky fights. Adrian never wants Rocky to fight.
No, yeah.
Adrian wants
you
him to
can't
stop.
do it, Rock.
God, you are good. These impressions are good.
They're pretty dead on.
She wants him to stop. These men are fighters. And it is like it's sort of this like bullshit old school like masculine glory
Right.
ego. Like it is. It's all ego. These are like flawed egotistical men who need the ego trip, the thrill of this ring. Apollo goes in thinking like it's going to be an easy exhibition and he's going to knock Drago down because he's an American and he's Apollo Creed.
That shows, yeah, it's American arrogance. at its
Exactly.
best, yeah.
When he cannot lose.
Right.
He's like Rocky. Like you
Yeah.
need to let me do what you do. Like you need to let
Yeah.
me come back and win this fight. And Rocky, who has never won a fight from ahead, always comes back from behind. Says like I need to let you have this chance. Like
All
I
right,
need you
that's
to
fair.
try.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I feel myself being broken down.
Yeah. Because it's fun. Because 4 is fun. And most of the
Yeah.
things that happen in it happen like for a reason. It's a deeply flawed mess of a film.
Oh, but isn't it great how when Adrian finally comes to the Soviet Union, then he finds like the heart and the
Oh, yeah.
passion to start to train, which
Yeah.
leads us to another montage.
Oh my god, there's so many fucking montages.
And then he's got the beard, and he's like all in black, like lifting up rocks. And
The
like
audacity to have a training montage and then a 5-minute conversation with his wife.
Another
And
montage.
then another montage. Full montages. These are both. The second one might be longer than the first one. This is incredible.
It's amazing.
This is so ridiculous. But even that, Ivan Drago is an opponent like no other.
No.
He needs 2 montages.
Yeah, this is true. This is a different kind of challenge here.
And he
Yeah.
needs a mountain man beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fucking. Also, is it possible to lift someone up by their throat while you have a boxing glove on? Can you get that much of a thumb out?
Oh, I'd say probably not. No.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
he could do it if anyone could.
Right. Yeah. I'd say if anyone could, certainly. Oh boy.
You know.
When Drago breaks the machine, like it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
excessive. That's the thing. Like this is
Yeah.
all. That's insane. That is
Yeah, he punches with the
nonsense.
force of 2,000
Yeah,
pounds.
which would just decapitate Rocky.
Yeah.
He would punch him once, his head would go flying, the Russians would cheer, America loses the Cold War. In real life, Aaron, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
In real life.
When I'm watching Rocky IV as they're coming in with their intros and like the big thing of Drago, the big portrait of Drago comes out with like the fireworks.
Yes.
All I could think of looking at that closed off arena was that's definitely a fire hazard.
Oh,
That's-
certainly. It's
No
Russia.
one-
It's
It's
Russia.
Russia.
They have
It's
different
Ru-
codes than we do. They're not worried
Yeah.
about it.
It's, they lost how many millions of people in World War II? Like,
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
more where that came,
Whoa.
I'm just saying,
You're
they're-
not wrong, though.
They're used to death.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's a different sentiment over
They're
there.
all right.
All right.
So, yeah.
But they respect strength. And that's what it
Yes,
shows
they
at the
do,
end.
yes.
Rocky's tenacity is what wins
They
them
would
over.
not have draped him in an American flag, though.
No, I agree. That's insanity.
Yeah.
But I
That's
love.
excessive.
But I'm on board for the metaphor.
And also, it was Christmas.
Yes.
That was
was
another
Christmas.
aspect. He's like, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like, so you've got everything all wrapped
so
into
much.
one.
Also, I gotta say, naming his kid Rocky Jr.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
Oh.
of course.
Yeah.
Fuck you, buddy.
That is first of all, that's a very Italian thing
That's
to
a
do.
bit- yeah.
Fair.
Italians love to do. I'm so
Yeah.
glad my dad didn't name me Michael. Michael's a fine name, but my very Italian dad, I didn't want his name. My Irish mother talked him out of it, thank God. But that's such an Irish thing to do, and it does go back to that ego. Like he's Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
He's a man. His son will be a man like him, and that is like a thing in Rocky Balboa. His son is.
Goes by Rich? Or
Yeah,
what is
something.
like.
But he's like a suit. He's like a buttoned
Yeah.
up.
What does
like
he
He's like just
do?
he works in like
like a
finance.
business guy.
Yeah, he's like a wall. He
Yeah.
seems like a Wall Street kind of guy. Like a real like
and
buttoned
he's
up.
like ashamed of his heritage.
Rocky IV is fascinating because like sort of. I'm sorry, Rocky Balboa is fascinating because instead of montages, there's a lot of monologues.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's one training
one-
montage. Duke comes back to train him.
Oh, yeah.
to fight.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You know the
again, no reason to know his name.
Unless you know.
But Rocky delivers a lot of monologues in Rocky Balboa because he's sort of out of people to talk to. So it's sort of like people talk at him, and then he delivers really, lovely monologues.
Not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and
Get back,
Get
keep
back-
getting back
keep-
up or
keep
something.
getting
Keep
back
on
up
fighting,
again.
something like that. It's in the Creed trailer, I
Yeah.
think. that line.
So he repeats that in Creed.
Yeah, he says it because that's sort of like become his mantra,
Yeah.
and it matches his fighting
and
style.
His life, and it's a
Yeah,
metaphor for life.
Exactly. That's who he is.
All right.
His body is nonsense in Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
He is like
It's nonsense in Rocky IV also.
it is.
I
Yeah,
mean, like,
he's huge. Rocky Balboa
Yeah.
is so because he's old. Like they took a break between 5 and Balboa. He
Yeah,
is,
it was like a good chunk of time
yeah.
too.
He is still like very muscular, but in like a weird old man way.
yeah, no.
It is
like,
fascinating to look at.
I remember being watching the Expendables and being
yeah.
just drawn in by his arm veins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it's
he
insane.
has so many of them.
He's so old and huge.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It is really. It's
That's
somewhat
his biography
disturbing.
title. Old and huge.
Yeah.
You don't want to go with Italian Stallion? No, it's what I am now, old and huge.
And I will tell you, from the porn, huge cock on Stallone.
He does have or not?
He has a huge cock.
All right.
It is enormous. So just, old and huge, there's a lot of meanings there. I'm glad I know that. It's just something I'm glad I know. Now you know.
Now I know.
See?
And where can we find
You're
that
welcome.
porno, Sean?
I don't know.
It's gotta
I'm not
be
sure.
online.
It's
Everything's
definitely out
online.
there. Yeah, everything's out there somewhere. I watched it years ago, tried to find it recently and could not. But I didn't try that hard because I felt weird about looking for it.
Fair enough.
But I'm sure it's out there.
Ooh,
I'll
no-
find it. I'll send it to you.
Did he only do like the one porno?
As far as
As
I
far
know.
as I think
Yeah.
it's just the one.
Yep.
That explains why Adrian then took her glasses off after. Just like, ooh, I've seen the light now.
Yeah, exactly.
I was blind and now I can see.
This guy knows how to fuck.
All right. Anything else?
Oh man.
But there's so much. We only have scratched the surface.
Boy, we could talk for
For
hours.
hours. He's got a dog that he loves.
He's got a dog. Where the dog didn't show
Butkiss.
up. Oh yeah, but is Butkiss in
then-
any of the other movies?
He's in 2.
Yeah,
I think he's in
two.
3 as well.
I think so.
So he's just not there at 4.
It's
gone.
kind of like the robot.
The robot takes over.
I'm so pissed that the robot falls away.
That is infuriating.
Yeah.
That
I
is something that you.
I know.
I think a very cool thing about 1, and I will credit to Roger Ebert for this. This wasn't my own observation, but it's a very good one. Sort of like in most of the first Rocky, Philadelphia is deserted.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes, there are not people
Yeah.
there, and that like, and it's
there's
just
a
like
trash can fire.
Yeah, like everywhere you turn, everything's gray.
It is, and it's
just like depressed.
It's sort of like it's an old trick, but it works. Like to really paint this guy like he is nothing.
Yeah.
At the start of this movie, like they
she
really
is
go out of their
nothing,
way.
too.
Exactly,
Like,
they
I
are
love
both.
How, in each other, they give each other the confidence to be the people that they're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
And it's
that.
really like when he does the run, when the kids follow him, like that's when he's finally like, I'm here. Like
Yeah.
I am
And there's
ready
lots
to
of
be
color,
this
like the
person.
kids are all in bright
it's
colors.
colorful.
Yeah.
It's there's finally
Yeah.
people in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Is that 2 or 3?
In 2.
That's in 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even one. He does the run.
Yeah, no, but like
Through,
the kids
He's, like,
following him.
alone.
The kids following him, yeah. The kids following him is in 2.
Yeah.
And that's, that's a whole thing. But yeah, throughout all of 1, he's really like, because he's never sure. He goes into that fight thinking he's going to lose.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
like, I'm not going to win this fight. And to come that way, 2 does a great job of saying like Rocky is here. This is the person he is now. Like
Right.
these are the people around him. He has.
So you guys like the movies because the character is so compelling.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
definitely.
The
Yeah.
Rocky movies,
Yeah.
I mean, 4 is one of the strangest movies I've ever seen. But for the most part, these are like very formulaic underdog sports movies.
Yeah.
These are not anything.
And
you
I'm not a
haven't
fan
seen
of the.
before.
I mean, I don't really watch many of those type
Sure.
of movies. But like, there's something where I could just say, "Oh, I've seen that. I like it." But to see it and be like, "This is great.
I do.
This is good."
I do love those movies, and
Yeah.
Rocky is, I mean, hands down my favorite. Like I love sports movies. I'm a sports guy, whatever. I love sports movies from the Little Giants to Hoosiers. Like every sports movie you've got, I've seen it, and I probably fucking love it, no matter how bad it is.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year? No, I haven't seen Rookie of the Year.
You haven't seen Rookie of the
I know.
Year?
I
I
haven't
know.
That
seen Rookie of the
movie,
Year.
as a kid, I watched that movie relentlessly.
It's real. My mom was not really interested in showing me like kids' movies. She was not.
It's
Yeah.
more than a kid's movie. It's
What was it about? An
Okay.
underdog who like finds the courage
it's
of his
about.
convictions.
Do you know
to-
the story of it?
No.
It's about a kid who goes to. He's a big fan of the Cubs. And
Another
he-
underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah. He breaks his arm, and so it gets put in a cast, but it gets set wrong. So his tendons are really tight.
Stop
And
it.
so his arm, just
Stop
like
it.
when you pull it back, it just throws like really amazingly. He goes to a Cub game with his friends, and there's a home run ball, so he's got to throw it back, and he throws it back, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And they're like, "We got to find this kid." So this kid joins the Cubs as their starting pitcher, and it's awesome. Gary Busey is in this movie.
Jesus Christ.
Before he went crazy.
That's
Hey,
insane.
kid.
Albert Brooks plays the shitty stepdad.
What?
It's so good.
All right, well, I'm going to watch this movie now.
yeah.
There are very few sports movies I haven't seen. That one's on the list. I'm going to watch it. It
It's-
sounds insane.
I'm realizing I need to rewatch Rookie of the Year while we're talking about it because that was my childhood, that movie.
But yeah, the thing, Rocky is, it's a formulaic movie, man. Like that
But it
movie
also
is.
sets the standard for all other movies.
Oh, absolutely.
afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
certainly.
So it was the first like real underdog sports movie. Like
I'd say it was the first modern sports
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
really, yeah, I mean.
That's what I was looking for because I think that's part of the reason why it's so popular. Because like I'm such a fucking hipster. Like if something is super popular, I'm averse to it.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
It made a ton of money. That
Yeah.
movie made, boy, a nonsense amount of
And
money.
then won
And,
all the
it
best
won
picture.
Best Picture. The
They did?
Yeah.
The first
it-
one? Oh.
the
Yeah.
first one won Best Picture,
that
which
doesn't
is insane.
seem like it needed it.
He
but-
was nominated for actor and writer.
Did he win for screenplay?
He did not. No, it did not win
All
for
right.
screenplay.
I will say the scene with him shouting out after Mick, but mostly to himself, and then running after Mick was well done.
that's pretty
Yes,
good,
that's
man.
good, yeah.
There's some real, yeah. And it's funny. I mean, Creed, I think, is a perfectly written movie. I think that
It's a
screenplay.
good, bookend to the two of them.
Yeah, it's really it's absolute perfection. And I mean, you can even see him like he gets stuff from Mick. Like by the time he's there, like you can see echoes of Mick in Rocky.
Oh, the chickens!
In Creed the chicken.
Oh.
Where did the chickens come to play? What movie?
2?
That's
I
in
think.
2, where he's got to
Yeah.
chase the
Chase
chickens.
You gotta get fast, Rock. Quick
Women
feet.
weaken legs. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
the one you gotta eat lightning and crap thunder?
That's is that? That's Rocky Balboa.
Is that?
That Duke says it in 4.
Oh,
Because he's like, you're old, you've got arthritis, so we can't do strength training, and your knees are done, so we can't do hard running. So we're just gonna beat the shit out of you and build up muscles. You're gonna eat lightning and crap thunder.
Here, take
That's
this.
in Rocky 5?
Let's build some hurtin' bombs.
Hurtin' bomb.
That's in Rocky Balboa.
Balboa. So I need to skip 5, but watch Balboa.
Oh
and
God,
Creed.
don't watch 5. Yeah, there's
'Cause the
no
street fight
reason.
sounds
No,
good.
but the first
It's-
10 minutes of Rocky 5 are great because it picks up where 4 left off, and he's like spitting up blood, and his
Yeah.
brain's all messed up. He's like, "You can't fight anymore, Mr. Balboa. You will die."
Yeah.
Then they find out Paulie squandered all of the money. Like, just while I guess they were in the Soviet Union, he had some kind of
He's having a party in America
yeah,
where
he
they're
like
off
fucked
in
them
Russia.
over, so they have to sell the big mansion, sell everything, and move.
They bring
back
them
to
way back
Philly.
down to earth,
They have to
yeah.
like move back to the neighborhood, and like no one ever talks about the robot again.
No, so that's why the
And
robot's
his son
gone.
ages like 5 years.
Yeah,
And
the son
Paulie
is a lot
isn't.
older.
Paulie, when does Paulie stop showing up?
He's not in Creed,
He's not in Creed.
and he was in Balboa.
He was in Balboa. Yeah.
Does he?
Because I think he actually died in real life, right? Is he dead? What's his name? Oh.
Burt Young.
Burt Young.
He might be dead now, but he lives on Long Island. I have a friend
If he's not dead.
who's a waiter in Long Island at a restaurant that Burt Young goes to a
Oh my
lot.
God.
And when Creed was coming out, he asked him about it. He was like, "Those motherfuckers didn't even call me." He was mad that he was not called to be in Creed. So I do think he might have died like since then, but
probably because
or
of.
he's still alive. Probably of a broken heart.
Of a broken heart. Oh.
Another. I'm sure we're running long, but just another thing. Carl Weathers wanted to be in Rocky Balboa as
But
Apollo,
how?
right? And that's what Rocky said. That's what Stallone said. Stallone was like, "Carl, I don't know what you mean. Like what? Like as a ghost in a flashback? Yeah, we could do it." And he's like, "No, like I just want to be in I want Apollo Creed to be in the movie." Like he even confused Sylvester Stallone about like writing a script. Like nothing should be confusing for Stallone because he shouldn't know how.
Am I gonna fight a ghost?
Yeah, he's like, "What? I mean, we could do a flashback. I don't know. Do you want to do a flashback?" And Carl Weathers is just insistent. He's like, "No, just put Apollo Creed in the movie." I don't.
What?
Maybe it could be like his twin.
I'm assuming
Sure.
he
Like-
didn't.
He didn't. No,
Like
no.
Ares Creed
No,
or
Carl Weathers is not in any after 4. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why he thought that was something he could do.
All right, let's call Carl Weathers up.
Okay.
We got to get him on. Yeah.
All right. So if I started at a 2 before seeing the movies and then watching 4 brought me up to a 7.
What would you have been, do you think, if you just watched 1? Just in
Right.
an exercise in
Probably
hypotheticals.
3 or 4.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But now I understand a bit, and I do like a through line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think if you watch the rest of them, it would
be
change
like,
your...
"Oh,
Like, I know this was
I
jarring.
find myself pretty intrigued to watch the
Right?
Balboa and Creed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is such a good actor.
He's amazing in that
It's
movie.
He's so
easy on
compelling
the
to watch.
eyes.
Yes. He's a good-looking guy. He's a really... Yeah.
I think 4 was ridiculous, but do you think it was ridiculous by that time standards, or is it like us now, or is just in retrospect all that
Interesting.
synth music?
Sure. I think it really was like a product of the times. I think
Yeah.
it was awesome then.
Okay,
I think it was.
Yeah.
It also made like a.
But it made the most money out
Yeah,
of
it did.
every,
It made
Both of
more-
every
those
film
do
in the
not age
franchise.
well,
money
but
than-
okay.
No, right.
I
The
mean,
early Rocky
I-
movies don't age well.
You know what Rocky 4 is to me? It's a pun. And I love puns. But puns are not meant to make you laugh. They're meant to make the other person hearing the pun go, "Oh, fuck you."
Sure.
And that's what 5 minutes in Robot Sidekick does.
What?
So that in mind,
I do think seeing 4, once you've seen the rest, once you're invested in this character, it's a different. You have a different.
That's true.
It carries a different weight. It was just important that you see it
And
because
you know,
it's insane.
because
say
it's the most important thing.
I'm probably down now to a 1.
Oh, great!
Hey!
Maybe a 2.
Sure.
Okay.
But like a 2 for a different 2 than I
Yeah.
was when I first started.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's
Robot
not that
psychic.
bad. It's not that. It's fun. I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad, or it's bad for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's
you know what I
fine.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
When was the last time you
It's
ever just
fine.
watched a movie and had a good time? And you weren't like told
Doctor
to.
Strange.
Oh,
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's
I've
good.
I've heard it. I've heard it's good.
It's trippy.
is it like
see it.
Rocky IV good, or is it like?
It blows your mind at certain points, and like it has a lot of great, awesome. It just,
All right, I'll be
But
the
also,
judge of that.
I'm a Marvel fan, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to clock that fairly.
We might, maybe we'll talk about this off air, but I do just want to say, I thought the Benedict Cumberbatch casting, when I heard it, was the most boring casting. I thought that sucked, and he's good.
I was
right?
all on board for Dr. Strumberbatch. Like,
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
like that's, and like when you see him and he's full Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
you look at it and it's comic book perfect.
good. Okay.
So is he like Doctor Strangelove or like? This is a different.
We reached
thing.
your limit.
That's a different.
No, Adrian.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
Do you guys have anything to plug?
Every Monday night at 8 p.m. at the People's Improv Theater, you can see me with my house team, Dark Matter.
Ooh.
It's Super Free Monday. Every Monday's super free.
That sounds insanely free.
Yeah.
Do you also have like a Twitter or an Instagram for people to follow you on?
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm Adrian spelled like Adrian, Adrian _Sexton at Twitter. And on Instagram, you can follow me at absexton80. 80.
AB Sexton 80.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean.
The fourth Wednesday of every month at QED in Astoria, a variety show, No Feelings Presents. It is not free. Pay us. Give us money. Not free. But it's great. We have house band, comics, stand-ups, improvisers, variety acts. It's great. I don't like social media. I don't do them.
That's fine, man.
Don't
You don't
follow
have
me
to.
anywhere.
I don't think Rocky would either.
I don't think
I don't
so.
get this Twitter. Where's the bird?
Where's a tweet?
I love the
Oh,
idea
I
of
hated
Stallone
his
tweeting.
shitty jokes. I hated his shitty
Oh,
jokes.
he's
much.
he's a dad. He's
No.
a dad. He
God,
makes
he's
awful
the
dad
worst.
jokes. You can go to YouTube
All right,
and look
2.
up.
Solid 2.
We got you back up to 2. Go to YouTube, look up No Feelings Presents. There's some comedy videos on there. That's my producing team. We're great. Check us out. That's it.
Awesome.
If you want to have a good watch, you gotta. If you want to have a good time, you gotta have a good watch. That's a Rocky joke.
I think he's so funny.
You're wrong.
I know.
So, I'd like to plug, of course, the show that I run with Grant, our producer. You Are Not Alone, an uplifting show about depression. Last Friday of every month at the Magnet Theater here in New York City. Also, I don't know when this episode is airing, but if Sunday, December 18th hasn't rolled around yet, go see the Avengers Christmas special, where I and several other Avengers, or several other improvisers, each dress up as the Avengers. I play Thor, and we're doing a Christmas special with a hilarious punk parody band named My Dark Little Corner. I highly recommend looking up My Dark Little Corner on YouTube or wherever. They're phenomenal.
Oh, I'm gonna go to that. I
sounds like
think.
Should.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this show. We just locked everything down with it.
Nice.
It's gonna be really good.
Make sure you invite me on Facebook.
I will.
Excellent.
Speaking of Facebook, you can follow Don't Mind If I Don't
Hey.
on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Don't Mind Podcast. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff at Hey, it's Aaron Gold.
Hey.
Hey.
Also, if you leave us a review on iTunes, I will read your name along with something that I like about you. So, not the biggest cat fan. I like that you are honest and that you are a cat fan, but you recognize where you are in the pecking order. 901665. I like that you are almost a phone number and more than a zip code. Katie Kate 1104. I like that you are like a human Kit Kat, but only on November 4th. Thank you guys. so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It was lovely having you guys.
Yeah.
Sean, you are officially our first repeat guest.
Yes.
Unofficially,
amazing.
you're not, but those
Okay,
episodes
sure.
will never be released.
Gotcha. All right.
So officially, you are.
I'll take it.
And if you have a Beatles episode, have me on for that.
Who doesn't like the Beatles? Do you not give a shit about the Beatles?
I don't give a fuck about the Beatles.
Oh, fuck you.
I think we
don't-
just found our next one.
I like.
Boy.
I mean, certain of their songs, like 8 Days a Week, that's fun. And
That's
like
the
certain,
song you go to?
Yeah,
I
you
was
shut the
gonna
fuck
do
up.
more of a list. I mean,
Oh
Hey
my
Jude,
God.
of course, at karaoke.
Sure,
But I think,
yeah,
I
great.
don't know. I don't know if I have enough negative feelings about the Beatles.
Right.
I'm
All
like,
right.
it's pretty much at 0.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
1.
All right.
Like, I'm just like, fuck it.
I think
Wow.
there is a lot to convince you though. Like the
Oh,
Beatles
definitely.
are
They are
there's
the best thing yet.
there's
John Lennon.
John
Adrian,
Lennon.
let's hear your John Lennon.
Oh, it's John Lennon. I'm a real Rocky fan.
Now do George Harrison.
This is George Harrison. I really liked Rocky 2.
Now Ringo.
This is Ringo Starr. Rocky 3 is my favorite. Mr. T. Peace and love.
Now the other one.
Paul.
Paul.
Come on.
Paul.
Rocky 4's just got all the montages. It's really great. He's in the Soviet Union. I did back in the USSR.
This is good.
These are
This is-
really, really
dang,
good.
man. Do you do like impressions?
I mean,
when you
I do. I probably should like work on that.
Yeah.
Make money off of it.
Yeah,
but
no,
Go
you're
get
really
on
good at it.
SNL. What are you doing here?
Sound
Sean,
like
do you have any
Sounds like my
impressions?
mother.
No.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And as always, Grant's favorite catchphrase, keep on minding.